Oh my God, you guys are literally in my deepest, darkest depths of my mind. Oh gosh, isn't that kind of scary? Hello, everyone, and welcome to... How do you do this? Hello, everyone, and you're currently listening to the Unlisted podcast, the first unofficial episode. Hello, Pham, if you're watching this. Honestly, I knew that I was never going to start this. If I don't, just start this. And I know you're like, what? But I've been saying that I was going to start a podcast for so long now. Oh my God, is this too loud? Basically, I've always said that I wanted to start a podcast. And I've been saying this for years now. And if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I've been saying it. I remember I started a whole podcast Instagram over a year ago and saying that I was going to start a podcast. And I never did. I just felt like it needed to be this huge thing with this huge production, and I needed to plan it out, and I needed to know exactly what the topic was going to be. I need to know what it was about. I need to know the title. And that just stressed me out. You know, it's like whenever I think, ooh, I want to do a podcast, it's because I just want to speak freely for a long period of time without feeling like there needs to be any editing or any funny music or making it fast-paced and the timing right so that you get as much views as possible. Like, that's what YouTube sometimes can feel like, but I wouldn't say that necessarily where it feels like I'm overly editing myself to be this person that I'm not. If you watch my videos, you see that I talk a lot, but the crazy thing is most of it's cut out because it needs to be like, you know, it needs to fit in like a 20-15 minute video. But here I am speaking to you right now for 3 minutes straight, and we're just getting started. Does that make sense? That's why I always wanted to make a podcast, was because I've always wanted to just be able to talk to you guys. And if you follow this Pham account, which if you are watching this right now, you do follow this Pham account, you hear me talk all the time on the stories. But it's like, guys, I have so much more to say. And I don't know how much value there is in it, but these are the things that I listen to and still do listen to when I need a space to feel comfort. Yeah, there's some podcasts out there and YouTube videos out there that I know that has definitely completely gotten me out of some ruts, some people might say, or just low times when I needed that extra push, that extra sense of hope. And a lot of the times it was a podcast or some person telling me on YouTube. I found so much value in those pieces of content that if I can, even in the slightest bit, help somebody feel that same way that I did, I will try my damn hardest. And I feel like I just can't fulfill that in a YouTube video or in a TikTok or in an Instagram post or a couple stories. There's a lot of stories that have been untold that have completely changed me and is the person that you're watching today. The reason why I have the life that I live, the reason why you guys watch my videos is because I feel like throughout the 13 years that I've been on YouTube and, 5 years consistently, I have changed so much as a person. And I think that is why we connect so deeply. And by we, I mean, yes, me and you. And the reason why I say that is because, from the feedback that I've heard from you guys in the comments, it's a lot of, I watch you when I need to feel motivation. It's the fact that some of you guys say that I inspire you, or I meet people and they're like, you're the reason why I moved to New York City. You're the reason why I got into manifesting. Why am I getting so sappy? We're only 5 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, guys. Anyways, I'm not trying to make this whole podcast so deep and emotional, but I feel like that's a lot of what my podcast is going to be because, I don't know. I feel like this podcast, for me, my goals with this podcast, let's not think about anything else. Why do I want to do this podcast? I had to ask myself that, why? What is the main reason? Why? Because I need to go back to the why to feel that passion to do something, The best way I could describe it is I just want to be the window in somebody's life where they can listen to me or they can watch me and they can see the potential that they have inside themselves and go get what they want. I want to give hopefully you guys that hope where it's like you guys can relate to something that I talk about and be like, wait, if she did that and she's living the life that she lives and she went through this and that, maybe just maybe, sorry, not to stutter, but I can do that too. And I think that that's one of my biggest things is I want to be able to show you guys that although whatever you might be going through right now, what position you have in your job, how difficult college has been, how people suck and they're just fucking rude and bullies in high school, and you're just going through all this drama that you feel like you can't escape, or family problems that you feel like you can't run away from and that you're stuck. I don't know what you're going through. Everyone goes through something different, but I just want you to be able to listen to me and feel like I'm here for you. And that I promise you things will get better. And I don't know if that's controversial to say, to always just tell someone, things will get better. But I remember when I was younger, I didn't believe people, but clearly there were some YouTubers out there. There was somebody out there that I looked up to that made me think just a little bit differently, to just compound. And these things compound. These core principles that you learn from the people you listen to, the content that you consume, the people you look up to, you start changing your values to kind of believe like them. And hopefully something that I say you can take with you onto everyday life and to get you through the things that you need to get through, which is, I don't know what you're going through again, and I feel like it'll remind me as well, because I feel like I keep saying I feel like, sorry, it's my first time podcasting. Sometimes I talk negatively about myself and I kind of forget my sense of self and I start listening to other people and consuming so much bad, I don't want to say bad, nothing's bad or good, but things that just don't fulfill me. I just consume random shit on TikTok and it's like, what am I listening to? It's like I'm listening to people being like, break up with your boyfriend if he does this, or if yours a man's not buying you this, then you should break up with him. He's broke. Like shit like that. And it's like, if you listen to that enough, for some reason, you're just going to start picking fights, That's what I mean. I guess the best way I could describe it is that, that feeling when you go to sleep at night and you just don't know the answer to things. You feel lost. You feel like you don't know what to do. You feel helpless and you don't know the answer to anything. And that is this level of stress where it's just like, oh my gosh, like you literally just feel lost because you don't know the answer to things. It makes you feel dumb. It makes you feel stupid. It makes you feel like you're losing at life. But in reality, like it's just because you may not be connected to who you truly are. And I'm saying this to myself right now. It's like we let everyone else's opinions and everyone else's judgments of us become our identity. We listen to them so much that the words that they say, we just start to believe ourselves. And it's like we have to go back to who we actually are. And by who we actually are, I mean, when you were a kid, before anybody was telling you, oh, you talk too much, or, oh, you're so annoying. I just think it's so crazy how when we were younger, we were told who we were before we even knew who we were. And we started having these insecurities and we started dimming our light before we could even figure out who we were. So now all of us are adults or becoming adults, and it's like, so what the fuck am I doing? And people's lives start changing. People are out here getting married. People are all of a sudden, what am I saying? But yeah, basically there's like honestly, I think right now I'm trying to refrain from using certain words and stuff because I'm just like, oh, like I don't want to get too deep, but I'm like, I think right now I'm like PRing myself on YouTube. Like on YouTube, like I know not to say things like too deep because I'm like, oh, I don't want to scare people, but whatever, fuck it. It's not even like scary things. It's just like when you start putting labels on things, everyone gets so scared, As humans, why are we so attached to labels? I think it's like a human nature thing. Like at our job, we always want to be called something higher than we actually are. And we're like, I don't know if I like the sound of that. Or in sports, when there'd be the team captain, like we are so obsessed with labels. boyfriend, girlfriend, what are we? Are we exclusive? Are we talking to other people? Shit like that. Back to what I was saying. I feel like that is truly like our soul and who we are as a person. And a lot of the times we go through life just dimming our light for other people. We're so afraid of what people are going to think of us. So we conform ourselves to be a person that we deem to be more likable so that we could fit in. But it's like, if we just fully express ourselves, dance the way that we want to dance, talk the way that we want to talk, say the things that we want to say, and just be our fullest self, truly just let go. You know those people in your life, whether it be your sister or your brother or your best friend, or just maybe even by yourself, when you can just fully just sing whenever you want to sing, laugh the way that you want to laugh, dance around the house, say the most dumb things that come out of your mouth that make no sense. When you're truly just comfortable in yourself, that's when you feel the best. And it's like, why are we dimming our light to just conform to other people, to say like, oh yeah, these are the people that I want to be around. Like, we convince ourselves that like the people that we surround ourselves with are like the people that we want to be around. But when you think about it, like sometimes you're just friends with people and it's like, I don't actually enjoy being your friend. Like, we don't really have the same values, or it's not even stuff like that. Like, some friends just really treat you shit and you just kind of stick with them because it's like, whatever, like we're friends. Like, I don't really mind that much. But it's like, you do mind, you're just kind of exhausted of like trying to find new people and stuff because you're just comfortable with the people around you, and like that's cool, but like, are you even being your full self? Like, are you able to be honest and like open and really connect with them? Like, no. Well, I get it though, because as a human, so it's so hard to just like be alone. It's so hard to be alone. Like, we will just surround ourselves with people that aren't even good for us just because it means that we're not alone. And I know that is so hard. I also understand that it's hard when you live in a small town or the middle of nowhere and like it's not easy to just make new friends. That's why I always, oh my God, my biggest life advice is move out. Like, move out, move as far as you fucking can away. Not actually, but like, the act of moving out can completely change who you are as a person, completely change your life. You don't even have to know what you're doing wherever you're moving. Like, it's hard, but fuck, you can figure it out. I'm telling you, you can figure it out. Like, if you are out there persevering, like, seeing a part of me feels bad and I'm like, I know it's hard to do that, but I guess, wow, wait, I'm forgetting. I can like share my own personal experiences. I don't have to censor myself. Personal experience time. When I was younger, I remember I was in high school and I was doing YouTube, and my monthly paychecks were about like 600 USD a month when I was in high school off of YouTube. And this was like 5-6 years ago when YouTube wasn't even bringing in that much money compared to what it is now. That's what I was getting in high school as like a 14-year-old from doing YouTube and AdSense, which honestly, it's a lot of money for doing what I like love doing. Like, it never felt like a job at all. But there was a lot of kids that had jobs that made more money than me. Does that make sense? Like, $700 a month as a teenager, that's like $170 a week. But that was my monthly paycheck when I was in high school. When I was 15, if you guys don't know, I moved out. Well, I was kicked out, but that's a whole different podcast episode. I was sleeping in my friend's basement for about 2 months during the summer, from going from grade 10 to 11, because I got kicked out in like May. So May, June, July. Yeah, there was only like 2 months left. But then I ended up moving away 2 hours from my hometown where I grew up because I just needed change. I just knew that if I surrounded myself with the people that I was surrounding myself with any longer, like, I couldn't be able to do it anymore. And you know what they say, like, your environment your environment is so impactful to how you perceive life, to how you feel, changing up your environment can completely change you as a person. You just adapt to, whatever you're surrounded by. And I knew that if I kept surrounding myself with the people, if I just kept surrounding myself with whatever I've been surrounding myself with for all I've known my whole entire life, which was 15 years up to this point, I would be in the same mood. I would be depressed. I would be so sad. I had no hope for life back then, and I had to do something. So me and my $600, $700 a month paycheck moved to a different city called Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It's just called Edmonton. I just said the province and country as well. I moved there during the summer of me being 15, and I moved in with my college sister, and we got an apartment, and we were paying about 800 USD a month. Sorry guys, I'm trying to convert. It was 1,200 Canadian. And so I was paying 600 Canadian, which is about 400 US a month. And then I had about like $200 left over. And keep in mind, guys, I could not fucking pay my rent. I think I was actually broke, and sometimes I forget that I was broke. Like, I literally had to download the Skip the Dishes app, which, if you guys don't know, that's like the Canadian equivalent to Uber Eats or DoorDash. And there was this promotion going on way back then where it's like, if you give people your code and refer people, then every time they sign up, you get like $10 for your food or something. And I literally would share my Skip the Dishes code in all my YouTube videos, and like I think like on my spam account actually a lot on the stories, and I would tell you guys to use it so that I could eat. And I would show you guys like my orders whenever I would pick them up, because I'd be like, oh my God, thank you guys, like another Skip the Dishes meal, because you guys were paying for me to eat at this point, because I didn't have fucking money to buy food. And not to buy food, but I also didn't know how to fucking cook. Like I didn't know how to cook. I'm telling you, I don't think I ever really used that stove. Maybe like the first week of moving in, but I never used that stove. Insert footage here of me trying to bake and like completely miserably failing. Like this, and then you're gonna add in. I just freaking. God, I'm stupid. I should have poured it in a glass, put it in the. Guys, I didn't know how to cook. So that's how I ate for like from year 15 to 16 was off of Skip the Dishes and bubble tea. Oh gosh. And then of course I made some really big life changes. My career started going up, and I was able to afford nicer places and finally be able to, you know, buy my own groceries, buy a car, because I was taking a bus for quite a long time. And also I didn't have a license, guys. I was 15, like I couldn't drive by myself, so I would have to take the bus around the city and stuff, but also I couldn't afford Ubers, so I would take the bus. I remember like I literally would bus hours to like a Walmart for a video. I literally took a bus for an hour to go to Walmart to buy shit for a video. I was dedicated, guys. I needed to get my money up, not my funny up. She was dedicated. If I didn't take those first steps of moving, then I would have never, I don't even know where I'd be at, but I feel like moving really, it got me out of depression. That's what it did. Forgot to mention that. The first year I was still depressed. I was so depressed. I literally was a high school dropout. Like I couldn't take it. Honestly, when I started feeling better was when I just completely started doing what I wanted to do. Wow, I've never said that out loud. I'm like holding back tears right now. LOL. Not me saying LOL. But yeah, it was, now I always describe the story as, oh yeah, then I got suspended, and then I realized, you know, if I was going to leave high school, then that means that I basically, no, what am I saying? I believed in myself. And I was like, I am going to do YouTube full time, and I'm going to make it happen. At this point I had like maybe like 100,000 subscribers, and I was, no, maybe 300,000. I'm not sure. And by the way, guys, I was not making a lot of money, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And then I'm always like, oh yeah. And then I started traveling the world and did it after I, decided to do YouTube full time. But in reality, like doing all that stuff literally cured my depression. Wow. It was just doing the things that I loved every single day. I guess going back to everything, that's the reason why I feel so passionately about speaking about these things, is because I want you listening to this to be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know what you want to do, but just do it and love your life. Because I know how good it feels to love your life, and I want everyone to feel that, because I know also on the flip side of things how it feels like to not want to be here, you know, and not want to even wake up every single day. Like I know that feeling too, and I know what it likes to live with that feeling. And when I say live with that feeling, it's like I think that sometimes the way we talk about mental illness and depression, we think it's like a mood or a feeling. Like, oh, it's like it rained today. Like, oh, I'm depressed today. Like, no, that's not what it is. And I think a better way to be able to describe it is that you feel like you become this person. It's not like a part of me is this depression and I wake up and I feel depression. It's like you start asking yourself the questions, ugh, why do I have no energy? Why do I feel so tired right now? Ugh, I want to sleep right now. I could do this, but it's just going to take me too long. Or I don't know, I can't even think about that right now. Like, that's what it is. And it's like, what the if? No, not actually. But no one deserves to live like that. No one does. Who wants to live like that? I really intentionally tried to change my life and change the way I think about life and change the way that I treat people. Like, it was all intentional. I knew what I wanted to change and I took the steps to do so. I took the steps to reflect. I took the steps to learn new things. I took the steps to open up my mind, just thinking about situations in different ways and just trying to better my life. I know the steps that I took and I want to be able to share them with you. This really just goes back to I used to consume so much media that really helped me. And I'm going to link them down below. Hindsight. A lot of you guys know the wizard Liz. She's amazing. Someone I really love as well is Heinz. In Hindsight. I will link him down below. He has these podcasts that are literally like 10 minutes long and there's like hundreds of them and I've replayed all of them. Like, they're so good. They're amazing. And they're just about little bits of life. I suggest that you listen to it in the morning. But yeah. And I think I'm ready to finally just share my life and share my stories, because genuinely at the end of the day, fuck all this self-help shit. Like, we don't need no motivational bullcrap. You already get so much of that every single day. But if anything, more than anything, I just want to be able to share stories and share my life experiences and tell you guys what goes on in my life, just in hopes that, you know, I can relate to one of y'all. And one of you guys out there can feel like you have a friend, or that maybe the things that you go through aren't so weird, or that, you know, the things that you think about at night when nobody else is around, like, hey, I think about them too, you know? Now, after all that deep talk, what's going on in my life now? I'm gonna say this here and now, by the way. Please, oh God, please, let me know if my podcast gets fucking boring, okay? Because you know what I don't like personally? Not to be a hater, but when I listen to podcasts and they're just talking about their everyday lives, and I'm like, I'm supposed to listen to an hour of like your life, but like it's just random thoughts that you have. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I already have too many thoughts in my head. I don't need to hear just more like chatter like that. I guess some people find it really comforting, but I can't find myself sitting there and listening to that for a long time. Sometimes maybe like if I'm bored, but it's not something that I like always want to go back to. And it's like, I want you guys to always come back to this. Like, what the fuck? We're hanging out every week. I guess let's start with relationship. I currently am single, and I think I'm going to be single for a while. Now, I think my old patterns would have been like, oh, I can't talk to any boys for 3 months. Oh, I'm going to stay single for this long because this relationship didn't work out. And I don't want to block myself off to any blessings or intentionally try to push myself away from that stuff, but genuinely, I want to look at it from a perspective of I need more time for myself. That's more what it is. It's like, yes, I'm open to talking to people. Maybe I'll go on a date here and there if I really feel like I connect with somebody, because I feel like a lot of the times now I'm just kind of going on dates and just meeting people, but maybe just being a little bit more intentional, because I want to value my time more and value time with myself more. I feel like so much happens when I'm by myself, and I feel like getting to know myself better is beneficial for me and the people around me. Also, it's like, how am I supposed to pick one title for each podcast episode? I need to ask people who podcast what their advice is. Oh my gosh, wait, some of you guys are actually gonna really love this podcast. Like, I'm reading Ava Jules' comments on your podcast Instagram right now, and I'm like, wait, these comments are so sweet. Today I was talking about on my spam account, which you guys definitely follow the spam account. You're watching this right now, and only the spam account has this link. I just sometimes wish that when I read my YouTube comments, they were a little bit more personal, because sometimes I feel like people just comment just to comment, which thank you for commenting. Like, the fact that they're commenting means that like they really watch my videos and they really love who I am to even comment, because only like 1,000, I say only, but like 1,000 to 2,000 people comment out of like the hundreds of thousands of people that watch. So the people that do comment, oh my gosh, like they really fucking watch, you know? But it's like sometimes I wish that they were like talking about the things that were actually going on in the video, or like thoughts and opinions on my thoughts and opinions. Does that make sense? So that I could like hear your guys' opinions and thoughts. But I feel like I don't really get that. But maybe this podcast, I will get that. Like, reading these comments are gonna feel so amazing. Like, seriously, if you have any thought, or you know, you have any advice or feedback, or if you just, you know, related to something that I said, please comment, like, and tell me your story. Like, I want to freaking know. Like, girls, you know what we should do? Or boys, go to your phone and then when you click the comment, type the voice icon, so that all you can do is just speak into it and then comment, because it's not that serious. Like, you know, you don't have to type up the whole thing. Just talk, and then we'll type it out, and then just click comment. Like, I just want to know your thoughts. I was stalking people. Do you guys ever just like think, what the F do people think when they look at my social media? Because I think about that every day when I look at my Instagram, and I'm sure you do too, you know? Or like whenever you see someone like you've like been crushing on, or like someone just follows you, and then they watch your story or something, like you watch back your story as if like you're that person watching. Or if somebody like follows you, you're like, I wonder what they saw, like, you know? And you start thinking about if your feed is cool. Me. Did you guys hear? Red is the color for fall this season. And I'm like, been there, done that, been doing that. Look at my Instagram. Looking back on it, Costa Rica was actually freaking amazing. And I didn't even realize in the moment. I love Costa Rica. I want to go back to Costa Rica. Something I'm trying to remind myself lately is that there's seasons: winter, fall, spring, summer. You know, like the weathers change. We change, our emotions change, our feelings change, and with that, everyone else also has their seasons and their time. Like, life works like that. We have our cycles and stuff, and people have their seasons. So, in more simple terms, when you look at somebody and you feel envy towards them, or you feel like you want what they want, and why do they have it but you don't, like, and you get that jealousy feeling and you compare yourself, just know that your time will come. Everyone is on a different path. And just because you don't have it now doesn't mean you won't have it later in the future. And I know it may feel frustrating, because you may be like, but they have it now, I want it now. But it's okay, because it will come at the end of the day. I feel like I'm rewiring my brain right now, telling myself these things. It's like an affirmation. And it's like, oh, I'm going to go to sleep and then wake up, and my brain's going to be rewired the more I tell myself these things, which this podcast might help me do. Take it easy. Every single day, I always find a new invention or a new idea or something else that I should be doing more of. Every day, there's always something new that I'm telling myself. Like, oh, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. Oh, no, I have to do this. Or, oh my God, this is going wrong. And it's like, girl, every single day you find something new. You'll solve one thing and then the next, and then, oh my gosh. And it's like, okay, you have all these things that you know you need to do. Cool. Write it down. They're not going away. Whether it be a good idea or a bad idea, like, it's not going away, but stop thinking about it so much. Like, it's there. Such as, oh my gosh, like a police report, bro. And me, like, going to the dentist. Like, those things I put off for forever, but eventually I get them done. But it's like, I don't have to stress about it 24/7 and have it be on my mind 24/7. Like, I'm gonna not do it anyway. So would I rather not do it and not look at it and forget about it, or not do it and think about it 24/7? First option, please. So, you know, it's like that. Or if it's like, you know, I have all these ideas of what I want to do in life, and like different career paths, or like a new business plan, or I don't know, something like that. It's like, I don't have to do it all at once. Like, I think a lot of the times I'll tell myself, oh, you need to do this, and that. Like, you need to start this tomorrow. Like, you need to start thinking about this. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do this all right now. Like, I have a lot of time. I don't have to speed run everything and feel like I'm not doing enough because I'm not doing these things. It's like, girl, calm down. You're going to get there. If you just write these ideas down, they're never going to go away. You'll have them here, and eventually you can tackle each one. And it's like, you're right. Sometimes I forget the concept of time, and I know a lot of people say time isn't real and stuff, but, you know, sometimes I forget, damn, like, I've only been doing it for a year. Like, such as my clothing line, for example. I tell myself I need to do so many different things, and I stress myself out about it when things aren't going right, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna get better, and it's gonna get easier. I'm just figuring it out right now. I'm learning. I don't need to pressure myself to get this done so fast and stress myself out about it. Of course, there's a healthy amount of pressure to push yourself to do things, but I gotta give myself grace, I guess, because, you know, making clothes isn't my full-time thing. Being a YouTuber is my full-time thing, and I think I compare myself to people that make clothes for a living, and that's their main sources, and mine is YouTube, you know? But I compare myself to those people, and I'm like, oh, why am I not like them? How did they figure it out? And it's like, well, because that's what was on their mind 24/7 was how they were going to figure that out. Like, you have a million other things you're thinking about as well, and this isn't even your main thing. Like, you can't devote all of your time into learning about this. You know, give yourself some grace. It's going to take longer than, you know, somebody that would put 100% of their time into making clothes, but you're going to have to balance it out. Like, you can't do that. And it's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're going to figure it out slowly but surely. The surely part really matters. It's because I think I lose track of what my goals are. Every single day I have a new goal or a new thing that I want to do. And at the end of the day, I really did. I'm saying this to myself right now. I really forgot that my goal was more so to get really consistent with YouTube again and get in the flow of things. And it's like, yeah, wait, just do that for a month, like a month. I'm telling me this right now. Like, make my main thing posting on YouTube for a month. Don't think about anything else too much. Do it here and there, but don't beat yourself up. Only just do YouTube videos and see how you feel. Because maybe once you get that on track and that flowing, you can start thinking about other things without thinking about YouTube too much. Boom. I think you guys are hearing my goals right now. Oh my God, you guys are literally in my deepest, darkest depths of my mind. Oh gosh, isn't that kind of scary? I guess we'll see if I get there. It's going to be exciting being able to update you guys every week. I feel like I have someone to hold me accountable. Wow, guys, that's actually really cool. I'm actually very excited to start this. Sometimes, this whole time I was talking, I don't know what I was talking to, or because I'm just talking and no one's talking back to me, so I don't know how people are perceiving it right now. I think sometimes I forget to thank you guys for the life that I have. I feel like I'm doing it less and less and less. And I think it's because subconsciously I have the thought that it's corny and people are going to judge me for it. Because it's like, it's cool to like not acknowledge your fans and just like be under the radar and like inaccessible. And if you're like, what do you mean, girl? Like, think about it. All your favorite artists, I don't know, maybe some YouTubers, like they don't ever interact with their fans. They don't ever acknowledge their subscribers. They don't ever break the barrier between entertainer and a consumer, you know? A part of me thought about it, and I think that's why subconsciously I'm like, oh, it's corny to do that, but deep down in my heart, that's like what I want to do, is say thank you all the time. But it's like, oh, at what point am I doing too much, you know? At what point is it uncool? And it's like, it's never going to be uncool, girl. I think that sometimes I don't need to do anything, but just, again, going back to everybody's opinions and not being able to decide for myself sometimes when I don't sit with myself. So that's what I mean. Through and through, like, I love talking to you guys. Like, I love it. I love talking to you guys, and I love saying thank you to you guys. And I think that was a big part of who I am and who I was. Like, I still am that person, and I really was that person too. What I'm talking about is just talking to you guys. Does that make sense? I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think that through and through, one of the things that make me who I am on YouTube is the fact that I talk to you guys. You know, I share my life with you guys. I just talk as if you're like a real person, like standing there, you know? I guess very unfiltered, but that sounds corny as fuck to say too. I'm like, why do I keep saying corny? I don't know. I think sometimes I'm just a little hater. I miss telling you guys, don't skip the ads. Don't skip the ads. If you guys don't remember, back when I was broke, I would tell you guys not to skip the ads because I wanted more AdSense money. So you guys collectively didn't skip the ads so that I would get more money, which I don't know how true that is, but I literally made merch that said don't skip the ads because that was my tagline. Like, I needed the shmoney. But I miss saying that stuff. But it's like I can't say that anymore because there's too many people watching, and then people are going to be like, but you live in an NYC penthouse, girl, and you have 3 million subscribers. What the F are you doing telling people not to skip the ads? And it's like, because I feel like it. Like, what? But again, it's like that judgment inside my head. Guys, it's a wild, wild west out there. And by wild, wild west, I mean in my brain. Oh my gosh, organizing my house has been the best decision I've ever done in my life. I've only done like 2 rooms, which is my living room and my bathroom, which took me like 2.5, 3 weeks, but my gosh, has it changed my life. Like, it's incredible how much your environment affects you. And I've been saying this, but just even cleaning and decluttering, oof, my gosh, my mental health has never been at an all-time high. Just kidding. It's not the all-time yet, but it's like, you don't realize how having a clean place can motivate you to just do things that are good for you, such as brushing your teeth or washing your face, like doing a skincare or showering. Like, if you have a clean environment and you know where everything is, it just makes it a little bit easier and takes away the friction to do these things that sometimes you dread doing. Now I genuinely enjoy doing my skincare. I genuinely enjoy like grabbing my toothbrush. It's not like I didn't brush my teeth before, okay? I literally just went to the dentist, and that's why I'm just like, you know, like I want to be excited to do it. Well, I don't have to be excited to brush my teeth, but like every time I brush my teeth, I'm like, yeah, because it's clean. Like, there's a section for it. Yeah, and I've been hanging out in my living room more than ever. Like, I used to never hang out in my living room. Like, never, ever, ever. But now I hang out there every single day. It's like where I journal in the morning and stuff. But I think I need to do another episode on that because I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you could talk about this forever. You have too many topics to talk about. But yeah, okay. Should I be done this? It's been like an hour. I think that's good enough. All right, that was the first podcast episode. That was, you just listened to the Unlisted podcast by My Name is My Pham. Why did I say it like that? I hope you enjoyed. I'm kind of nervous, but fuck it. Why do I care so much? I love you. Bye.